Once the hero heeds the advice of his mentor, he's ready to meet his call of adventure and begin his quest, whether it be physical, spiritual, or emotional. At this point, he crosses the threshold between the familiar world and the unfamiliar world. When the threshold presents itself, the hero decides to decide and commits himself to his journey and whatever may come his way. Please allow me to present you with Tragedy to Triumph by Steve Ehretsman. Steve is the founder and CEO of Shamrock Prosthetics, an organization setting the standard in patient care, clinical relations, and custom prosthetics for amputees. Steve directs the strategic leadership team at Shamrock. He holds a bachelor's degree from Boston University, where he was the captain of the men's basketball team. In 2011, Steve was named to the Atlanta Business Chronicle's 40 Under 40 list of business rising stars. And in 2017, he earned the Georgia State Board of Workers' Compensation Annual Spirit Award, and he is a member of the State Board's Medical Advisory Committee. We are pleased to introduce you to Steve Ehretsman.
Thank you, Greg. And hello, Comp Law Nation. It's an honor to be a part of, 5 other unbelievable speakers that have unbelievable stories. But I guess I should start with mine. For the first 29 years of my life, I chased fame and fortune. I thought that's what purpose was in my life, and I thought that's what defined me. I was captain of Boston University's basketball team. I had some bigger jobs at some corporate global brands, and I thought that was life, just chasing the dollar. But everything completely changed on April 25th of 2001 when I was in a work-related motor vehicle accident. See, I was going to a meeting at a fast food restaurant, work meeting to meet some other colleagues, and you have to walk through the drive-through lane. Well, while walking through the drive-through lane, being 6'6", I'm no small object, a young kid was learning how to drive. He stepped on the gas instead of the brake and smashed me in another vehicle. It crushed both my legs, crushed my right leg the worst. Throughout that time, I had 13 surgeries, limb salvage wise, for my right leg. And that was the darkest time of my life. It led me to a below the knee amputation, was a 13th surgery, but it was during those 13 surgeries in a year of time that was the darkest. You see, at every surgery I had, I got a script. And it wasn't a script that you read from, it was a script that you take to the drugstore, or my case manager did. And it was a script for Oxycontin. And I chewed Oxycontin because I couldn't accept, being an ex-college athlete, I was always on the go. And being a corporate executive, I was always on the go. But I couldn't accept what my legs were, as far as pretty mangled and now a right leg below the knee amputee. So in chewing those Oxycontin like they were Skittles, it led me to some real dark times in trying to jade my mind of what reality is. I couldn't accept it. Those dark times, and Oxycontin is a powerful drug, we're starting to contemplate suicide, because our quality of life is measured on how functional we are. And when you're not functional, your quality of life doesn't increase, it significantly decreases. So contemplating suicide, I would say for probably a month of starting to plan, discuss amongst myself. I wasn't talking to anybody else about it. But I finally had the realization that I want to challenge myself, thank God, and give me 2 options. First option was I could end things very easy. I could find a bridge. Second option is I can actually do something with my life, and I can learn from this experience. I can actually make a difference, and it can be beyond me. So I chose the latter, thank God, and that's why I'm in front of you guys today. But over the past 12 years of being an amputee, I really have looked at how patients should be communicated to, the patient experience, the quality of the prosthetics, the journey that they go through. And 6 years ago, I started Shamrock Prosthetics, because my first 12 years as a patient and understanding the whole O&P community, again, I wanted to learn from the experience that I had and the mental challenges, physical challenges I had throughout those 12 or 13 surgeries. And I told you I want to do something with it. So 6 years ago, I started Shamrock. And Shamrock is completely different. It's the uncommon to the common industry. Reason being is the first thing that we like to see, myself and I have 2 other amputees on staff, is we like coaching the mental side. We get texts from docs that say, I need you to go see this patient because they need an amputation, and we want you to deliver that message. Well, think of it. A doc walks in the room and says, your arm or leg is mangled, and you need an amputation that's happening tomorrow, and then leaves the room. What would you think if a doc did that to you? Horrifying, fear, crying, tons of emotion. Enter Steve. I walk in scrubs, or my 2 other amputees that do the same, and our kind of journey is that we don't talk about being an amputee. We engage their mind and try to navigate their fears and really get a sense of where they are mentally with going into this amputation. And at some point, we're going to have kind of an aha moment. And that is that all of their beliefs aren't what our reality is as amputees. And then it becomes a game changer where now all barriers are down. All trust completely increases. And all respect is earned. You see, I look at this as far as the new amputee as 95% mental. The rest of the O&P industry sees that patient after they're healed. Well, that could be 4, 6, 8 weeks. A lot can happen before that time in your mind. The mind's a great asset, but it can also be a horrible villain. So in seeing that patient before surgery, either myself or my 2 other amputees, everybody has my cell phone. It's something that this is 24 hours a day for me and my other 2 patient advocates. That's the little distraction. Sorry about that. But it's my taking from my experience. It is something that is the most important aspect is coaching, teaching, kind of crafting and helping craft that person's mind by giving them a sense of hope. They have a sense of hope. They're actually my goal in seeing that patient before surgery is to actually get them excited. I know it sounds kind of crazy where if you lose a particle of your body, you're about to lose it. How can you be excited? But it's because they're seeing somebody that's actually doing something with it, completely doing anything I want to do. So are my other amputees, and so are my patients. So the way Shamrock looks at things is a mind-body approach. When that patient's healed, then they're turned over to my clinical director and his clinical team. But the uniqueness of how we look at things is to make sure we focus on really the authenticity of seeing that patient on that initial journey from the mental side. So I guess if you look at it, my story is really Shamrock. It's a journey that I've been on, but it's beyond myself. I started off my talk by saying I thought everything was about fame and fortune. And I thought that's what drove me. And I thought that's what purpose was. But in essence, Shamrock dimensionalizes my purpose. It's something that I have the daily challenge, and I'm blessed to have this, to help influence a person that is about to have an amputation and look at it from a different perspective and be accessible to that family, no matter what time of the day or night, to help them on their journey. I thank you for allowing me to talk today. Greg, I think you're doing a heck of a job as the MC, but I thank Comp Laud, Gallagher Bassett, and all the other sponsors, and I can't wait to hear the other speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Steve.